Ratings were passed on the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam 2019. As with all jams, there are some games that stand out from the crowd, with their uniqueness in design, in style, or in gameplay. So I went out and asked the community to send in their submissions of the jam. Out of these I then picked my favorites. So in no particular order, here are my favorite submissions of the GMTK Game Jam community. Starting off with a rather unique twist on the turn-based strategy genre, we have Single Digit. Stated by the developer, it is your typical turn-based battle game, working with a bunch of statistics and numbers. Except it only uses one digit everywhere. The simple premise itself made me curious, and over time the game introduces new mechanics that well bond with already established ones. It feels fresh to have a game focused more on the puzzle side rather than the genre typical digit jungle. Just as twisting as this submission was a platform. The name gives a pretty good summary of the game. It is a platformer with only one platform. Thankfully, the game lets you move the platform by dragging and dropping it on the screen. Combined with a bit of humor here and there, you end up with a short but fun experience. By the way, the creator of the game also has a YouTube channel, so if you're a speaker of the Spanish language, you should check him out. Next up on the list we have Mech Revenant Input 1. Your body has been destroyed and your mech is heavily damaged. But your combat AI, barely keeping your brain alive, devises a way to control the bot from beyond the grave with a single binary input. Now we are put to the test. We have obstacles to pass and enemies to defeat, but with only the spacebar at hand. Pressing our only button of choice will allow us to dash, which unfortunately is not enough to make it through the game. So we start altering and combining the input. Holding the spacebar will create a defensive field around ourselves, and holding, after a small tap, propels us in the air. There are plenty of more combinations to discover that sum up the game to a well-rounded experience. Following in a similar vein is 2000 Pixels Under the Sea. Deep down on the ocean floor, we are put in the command of a submarine. The game also leaves us with only one input, that is cleverly represented by Morse code instructions for a vehicle. Fun is sure to find, be it when we go into the helm to correct our course, when we crush our enemies with our arsenal of weapons, or when we work on improvements in the workshop. Starting off slowly, we have to remember all the instructions if we want to overcome all waves of enemies. Combined with an appealing art style, it became one of my favorites of the jam. More focused on the puzzly side, we have Where's My Second Dimension? In this game we are put in control of the British Sir Reginald, who found himself separated from his tea set after a sudden blizzard. So we venture out, yet are only able to move in one dimension. Fortunately we can switch between horizontal and vertical dimensions, thus letting us getting closer to our tea set one step at a time. It offers some great puzzle platforming and doesn't feel too easy nor too frustrating. A great pick for all puzzle enthusiasts. Coming up next is Grabble. In this Game Boy Metroidvania, we can only obtain one power-up. Instead of gathering a whole array of abilities, we are tied to only our grappling hook. Therefore, we will have to learn how to master our precious tool in order to beat the game. There are 3 biomes to explore and it takes quite a bit of time to get to the end, but it's worth all along. As I could not cover all submissions in greater detail, here are some more honorable mentions I wanted to include. Unblend, a puzzle platformer with only one sprite. Guide Merlin into the kingdom. Gather clues by the crowd in order to find the chosen one. There can be only one. Fight your evil clones and prove that you are the only real one. Einsamer, a lone warrior. Fight for your life and make sure only you will stand in the end. Killshot. As a sniper, you'll only get one chance to eliminate your target. Naughty Knight. Beat a chess game with only your knight. And that wraps it up for my favorite picks of the GMTK Game Jam. If you are now pouring over with motivation for the next Game Jam, I've got you covered. The Community Game Jam is happening and it's organized by some of the best people covering game dev on YouTube. I would hope to see your submissions for that jam in the future. Until then, there's only one thing to do. Like this video if you feel like it and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care.